Hey gang, so it is a very cold and very yucky day here in the district, but that doesn't mean that we can't do a little bit of double staff spinning. So by now, I'm hoping you guys have seen all of my videos on the basic double staff movements, including isolations and anti-spins, and of course, in spins, so on and so forth. And probably also at this point you've seen tutorials on rockets, on R-types. Fuck it, start over. Hey gang, so it is a cold and nasty day here in DC, but that doesn't mean we can't get out and get a little bit of flow on. So by now you guys hopefully have seen my videos on isolations, anti-spins, and things like R-types, and of course, in spins. And you might be thinking to yourself, okay, how do I put all these things together? And I'm going to give you a brief overview of something that I will hopefully cover in more depth in a later video. But essentially, this is going to be your introduction to the idea of how transitions happen with double staves. So first and foremost, we know that a lot of double staff moves kind of have, especially when going between isolations and anti-spins, have these little moments in common where we have like the hands pointing in and everything, and we can go across, and we can go across, or we can go around, so on and so forth, right? Or there will be moments when, say, the props are pointed a particular way, and we want them to get to point another way, say like this, if we're going to be doing something like these little six-petal flowers, right? So there's basically two things that we want to keep track of. One is kind of timing and direction, which we covered in a previous video, as well as prop facing. That is, whether you've got your thumb end sticking out or whether you've got your pinky end sticking out. And fortunately, there are a lot of ways that we can change these things. So just to give you a brief overview, when you're playing around with timing and direction, specifically things like together opposite, or together same, or split opposite, or split time same direction, you'll note that each of these timing and direction shares a couple positions, right? When you're doing together same, think of there as being 4 points along the wheel that you're going to. Bottom, left, top, right, so on and so forth, right? Now, each of those 4 points is also sharing a position with one other timing and direction combination. So for example, if I'm on my right side or my left side, I also share this position with split time opposites, right? And by the same token, if I am at the top or bottom of together same, I share those positions with together opposite, up top, down bottom, so on and so forth, right? And likewise, with both split opposite and together opposite, I share positions here and here with split time same direction, right? So if I wanted to, I could actually work my way through all the different timing and directions with isolations if I wanted to, going, say, okay, I'm going to start off in together same like this, and boom, switch into, that was a weird reach, together opposite, like so, switch that into split time same direction, and if I so chose, switch back into split opposites, and back into together same, right? It's kind of like the circle of fifths in music. We can also do this with anti-spins if we so choose. Say going like this, in together same, and then going into together opposite, and then go into split times same direction, and then go into split opposite from there, before returning to together same, yeah? So basically what you're going to want to watch out for is the places where you can make the transitions between those positions, right? And of course, you can also make the transitions between different styles of movements. Say, if I'm starting off in these anti-spins right here, and I wanted to, I could just as easily switch it into isolations in together opposite at that top point, right? And of course, I have the option of going straight back. And this of course is one of those things that when people are watching you spin are really, really cool things to see become a switch in the way that in the way that you're spinning. One fun drill to try out would actually be to alternate anti-spins and isolations. Say, go through the circle of fifths in anti-spin, and then go into isolation in together opposite like this. And then, whew, that was not right. There we go. Go into split time same direction in anti-spins. And finally into isolations in split opposite before returning to anti-spin and together same. Now you'll note that in doing so, I switched up which end was pointed towards the inside. This is the next thing you need to worry about. And actually, it's a good thing to think about in relation to things like hybrids. Because hybrids help you find those positions. Right here, I'm having both of my thumbs out, but right here I have one thumb up and one thumb down, right? I could isolate halfway around in split time opposites, and then if I so chose, opt to do that same hybrid, and I'm back to a place where both of my thumbs are pointed towards the inside. So a good rule of thumb is if you want to switch your prop facing, a really, really good way of doing it is to do a hybrid for a quarter of a beat and then a normal kind of homogeneous form of motion for another quarter beat. So for example, like I was just showing you, you do the hybrid for a quarter beat, and then I'm going to do both anti-spins for a quarter beat, and I wind up back in a position where I have both of my props facing the same way. If I want to switch it up, I can say isolate a quarter beat and then do a hybrid for a quarter beat, and I'm back to a place where the two props have different prop facings, yeah? It's a lot to think about. Yes, absolutely, and it's a lot to drill. But these are the things that will begin to show you how you can bridge the gaps between a lot of the tricks that we have talked about so far, and many more to come. So examples of where you would want to use something like this. Let's say you're going in an isolated split time, same direction, and you want to switch over to being able to do the choo-choos that we talked about a couple weeks ago, in which case I can switch out hybrid-like, come back split time opposites and anti-spin, and now I'm in the position to do my choo-choos in, yeah? And then, just as easily, I can hybrid back, isolate open, and begin going in split time same direction, and if I so chose, switch into together opposite, so on and so forth. You know, these are the basic building blocks by which you're going to find your way between different tricks. And of course, this is something that we'll go over more and more later, but for the time being, 2 exercises for you to play around with. Number 1 is to do that circle of fifths, just with each and every individual driving style, with your isolations, with your anti-spins, with your in-spins too, of course. And then to start alternating them, to go from anti-spin to isolation to anti-spin. Sorry, that was to anti-spin again. Woo! And there we go. To isolation and back to anti-spin, yeah? Just as a basic exercise to begin getting that down, and then to, if you can, begin throwing in those prop facing changes, yeah? So, yes, thank you guys for watching, and I will be back with another tutorial for y'all in 2 weeks. Peace. This video was made possible thanks to the kind contributions of these folks right here. Special thanks to Sean, Prisna, Kira, and Firefly for your very generous support. This video channel is a one-man operation. Help me to keep on making these videos by visiting drexfactor.com/support, where you can get your name in the credits or choose from a variety of other rewards and help me to continue to make the videos that I love. Thanks for watching.